This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, we talk a little bit about coaching science. It's a real thing. And stupid stuff personal trainers still say. And, of course, we're going to catch up with Joel Seedman. Three, two, one. Look out, Dan. I've got a full tank.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Dan Meek.
And me, Tom Hall. What's going on?
Oh, I have not got a full tank, mate. I am on. I am on. The lights come on. I've got about 46 miles and...
Oof.
I know. Well, luckily for me, there's a couple of petrol stations nearby, so I'm okay. But it's that risk of going and then there not being any petrol there. I've got to get Isabel to school this week, so it's
little sausage she can walk.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it carries on raining like this, fucking that'd be a fun trip, wouldn't it? But, it's definitely not ideal, is it? Everything that's going on, to be honest.
I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming I've got a full tank. My car is back in Essex, tucked up in my parents' garage because I have not used it in about 3-4 months.
I hope you declared it off the road, so you don't have to pay anything for it.
No, just put it there. It's fine. No, yeah, it doesn't cost me anything, does it? So, so I'm assuming it's got a full tank. I think my dad just takes it out for a little spin, doesn't he? Every week, I believe. It's like having a little private garage.
Rags it round.
Rags, put the sport button on. He just has a little go, doesn't he? Lovely.
I hope he does.
Yeah, probably. It's probably been smashed. I haven't heard from him for a while. So
yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's fun, isn't it? It's like a little go-kart. It's like, correct, Dad. Yeah, don't ruin it. Yeah. What's going on in your world, mate?
Not a lot. Just get everything prepped, I suppose. Now, sort of each week that goes by is a new thing to worry about with moving my whole fucking life to a different country. But other than that, can't complain, can we?
Lovely.
Have to sort out Isabel's school place and all that sort of jazz, all the fun life admin shit you got to do as an adult. And then worrying about petrol, obviously, is the main concern at the moment for me. Everyone else is as well, apparently.
Utter madness. If you're listening to this and you went and bought petrol when you didn't need to, utter madness. Utter. You're the people
surely
who.
Surely no one listening to this has done that. Like, surely.
The same people.
It's like. It's that whole thing of like, if those people, like my mum used to do it, right? My mum used to do this, and this was not in a shortage, right? She'd be like, "Oh, I've only got half a tank. Better go and fill up." What do you mean? You got half a tank? That's like 200 odd miles. Like, people are just in case. I'm like, no, not just in case. I don't get that. So like, I always wait until it runs out, and then you fill it up. Like, if people were doing that, we'd be fine. But it's people like that who go, "Oh yeah, I could fill up a quarter. I could, so I probably should." No, you shouldn't. And there's always people as well that drive about 10 miles in a week that feel they need to do that as well. You just know there's some like people, just do my head in.
It's madness. It's the same people that bought all the toilet paper at the start, isn't it? It's those people.
And it's frightening. It's frightening to see how they're also the first people to moan about, people coming over and taking our jobs and this.
Don't
let the immigrants in, and all that. And it's like, hang on a minute, mate, you're fucking running around after petrol and there's not even a shortage. Don't have a go at people escaping their country because they're being murdered.
Suddenly,
you've got space for like a litre of petrol in your car and you go fill it up because there's a shortage.
Suddenly the advert, the real shortage is of labourers and workers, and suddenly
because all the British people are too fucking lazy to fill those jobs.
It's so funny.
Don't want to do that. Sit my arse drive. Don't want to do that.
Some of the people who have obviously been like talking to builders and quotes for stuff, and they're like, yeah, well, we can't do it now, but like we can quote you for something now, but it'll be pointless because the cost of timber or all this kind of stuff is ramping up like hell. So probably when they re-quote you, it's going to be like 4 times as much in 6 months. So yeah,
it's mental. It's
crazy. The Brexit is coming for reals, unfortunately.
It's that whole, it's all that in it. It's all that, we'll be stronger on our own. Clearly not, mate, because the country's built on people that are fucking lazy. It's just, I don't want to do that. And the thing I love as well is that all the EU drivers they've tried to get back, they've tried to say, we'll give you a visa, come back. They've gone, nah, I'm right, thanks, mate.
No, you're good.
Thanks, rather not. I love that. Fair play to him as well. That's what I do. Stick your finger up to me. Fuck you. Like, it serves you right. It's just ludicrous. Ludicrous. Oh, Dan, why would you want to go and live in Dubai? Oh, I don't know. Why would I? I don't know. Honestly, this place is just, it's a shithole, isn't it?
It's funny. It's a funny little place. It's a bit bonkers. I live in the London bubble, so it's okay. I don't deal with a lot of the unfortunateness of. I've not seen one queue at a petrol station because I haven't seen a petrol station.
My brother messaged me today, right? He said that he drove past a queue at a petrol station, right? This is how stupid it is. This is where it's got to. He drove past a petrol station that had a queue on it, right? And he said when he drove past the actual petrol station, he could see that all the pumps were available, all working fine, right? Queue of 20, 30 cars, right? There were 3 pumps available, but people were queuing to get the pump on the right side of their car for their petrol cap. He said that there was the other side was, and I was like, that sums up the British public. They can't be bothered to pull the petrol pump on the other side over their roof to get to the other side. They can't be bothered to do that. And it's just, that sums it up perfectly for me, that there was a queue and there was free available stuff, but they didn't use it because it was too far to reach the pump. Unbelievable. That's the British for you. That's the British for you right there. It's just disgraceful. And there was the woman filling up like 8 jerry cans as well.
Oh yeah, what's that about?
Well done. Yeah, selfish little bitch. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I just.
Where are you going?
Unless you're a taxi driver, right? In a short like that, whatever, I'll let you off maybe for that. But it was, it's just, annoying.
Maybe she had
lots of either. But not
lots of lawnmowers to fill up, mate. That's what she needs.
Yeah,
it's clearly a lawnmower selling.
Yeah, she was going down to the golf club. She's a greenskeeper at the golf club. It's like, it's just that whole thing for me of it's not even surprising anymore. That's the point of it. It's not, unfortunately. It's just, anyway, fucking hell.
Anyway, I had the fun.
Embarrassed to be British.
I had the fun trip to Warrington. I believe that's where I went over the weekend.
But that was fun.
It was good. Well, the most surprising thing, I had like a train on a Saturday morning. I love working all weekend. So Monday, believe it or not, I purposely told a lot of my clients who I thought would contact me on the Monday. I was like, I'm taking the whole day off. Please don't message me. I'm not going to reply. And guess what? I had about 15 messages from clients, didn't I? Of course I did, because it's Monday. Just forgotten what I said. But yeah, of course, why would you? Like, I purposely said I know half of them looked at my Instagram stories, so they knew I was working all weekend. So I just messaged them. Yeah. Even though I made sure they've got their plans, all their programs, so they can go and train by themselves on the Monday. Like, I'm like, it's fine. Off you go. Of course. Why would that happen? I went to Warrington. And that the train I got, like, first obviously on at Euston, next stop Warrington. Crazy. I thought that was mental. Yeah. I was like, how many stops are you going? 1. Oh, okay. It's here, Warrington. I was like, Warrington's basically next to Liverpool, isn't it? Like, there's a lot of accents I couldn't understand. But yeah, and then people shocked that I'd never been there before. I don't know. All I knew, they like rugby league, right? That's the thing.
That's their only thing, I think.
That's the thing, right? So obviously I'm sure it's a lovely place. The bit I saw of it weren't too fantastic. Didn't understand the hotel I stayed at, which I recently have found. I was like, I know this hotel name. It's the same private equity firm who have just bought out Third Space. So, joy. So I was like, I went and stayed at one of their chain hotels. A bit disappointed. Felt like a leisure centre with a hotel attached to it, basically. A bit strange. And it was kind of, I knew it was all going to go wrong, considering the lad poured my Guinness wrong. So, I mean, everybody knows how to pour a Guinness, don't they? Jesus. I'd really, do they not? All right, Jesus. No, you really, like, they have that little harp bit on the glass that you go up to, and you have to obviously bring the handle, the draft handle forwards, put it to there, then you let it settle, you let all the things settle, because you see that like trickling down, it's like a waterfall effect. Let that settle, and then you go back. But when you pull the gas from the lever forwards, it's got gas in it. When you put it backwards, backwards, it pushes back. It has no gas or air in it, and you let it dribble out to get that little bit of head at the end. Like, that's how you pour a Guinness down. And unfortunately, didn't know how to do it. So I was like, brilliant. That's going to be slightly flatter than I wanted it to be. Great. But yeah, that was annoying. But yeah, everybody passed their assessments and stuff. So lovely. What I did notice, it might have been because of the gym I was in. Ascendancy Fitness, thank you for letting me in their gym. Lots of bodybuilding equipment. But always the way. I was like, can we have a track here somewhere? There was a lot of tattoos in Warrington. Is that a thing? A lot of tattoos up in the north. I felt didn't really know why. Just a note. I felt like I was in Camden for a little bit, but yeah, a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, about to say. London, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I hang around in like Marylebone and Maida Vale, mate. So yeah, Camden's only a stone's throw, but I'm not there.
You started in Camden. Don't you pretend like you're like a Marylebone faithful. You started in Camden.
I know. We all start from somewhere, mate.
Yeah.
I was Camden, Kentish Town. Lovely. Yeah. But yeah, good trip. Tiring. Those like weekends where it's just like I've got to travel up and then literally I walk off the train at 9:30 and I've got to be teaching by 10. I'm like 6 hours.
And you just switched on non-stop as well, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, oh great, cool. Like a 2-hour train, then bam, 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 bam. Then kind of I had to go back to the hotel, have a little nap, and then come out, have some drinks with one of our students, Andy. Lovely chap. Obviously, he was unfortunately had to spend 3 hours chatting to me in the bar. So yeah, poor lad.
Poor guy. Fucking hell. I moved to Bath to get away from that. So.
Yeah, then assessments on the Sunday. So lovely. Yeah, good. Yeah, hitting the ground running. Obviously, if anybody has listened to the Kevin Carr and Dan McGinley podcast that we did with them, they are over in Britain. I'm catching up with Kevin tomorrow from the Boyle gang, I guess. Yeah, because they've got a London one. They were just in Dubai, doing a thing over in Dubai for a little bit, I believe. Dune buggying. So yeah, of course, that's what Dan was doing. Dune buggying around, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got that on Friday, so I'm sure that'll be all over. Anybody at Third Space Trainers Instagram doing their CFC level 1. Yeah, lovely. Where I have to be there. I've already got it, but I have to be there apparently to hold everybody's hands. That'll be fun.
Yeah, because there'll be morons there. So
yeah, of course there are. They're my trainers. Of course they're morons.
Yeah.
So well, is this okay, Tom? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much
10. You still got
don't get me started. Jesus Christ.
10, right?
Realize this is what the show is going to be about. Obviously, we've got protein bars to hit first, but we're going to give a brief summary. Obviously, both of us watch this. It's not always very often that both me and Dan decide to actually watch a fitness thing. Because it was only 20 minutes, I was like, why not? And I kind of wanted to hear what he said. Mr. Seedman had a little chat with Mr. Mike Israel, the human muscle. So it was interesting. Obviously, Mike, he's I don't know, a very smart chap, I'd say. Always comes across really, really lovely. Like, doesn't seem to like attack people more than anything else. Probably just poses the questions more than anything else in a nice way. So it was quite nice to see. We'll have a little recap of catching up with Seedman. I'll bring back our segment. So yeah, the guy's fucking bonkers. But anyway, yeah, and we've obviously both me and Dan posted about basically the same thing without telling each other. But yeah,
how crazy is that?
I know. I think it was just something. It was just like, I don't know. Yeah, I was just getting annoyed by it. Yeah, just back in gyms and a lot more PT happening at the moment, and yeah, it just annoyed me. What stupid stuff PTs say, particularly for me who's on the gym floor, and what they do. Doesn't mean they're stupid PTs. It's just stupid things they do. So yeah,
there's a key difference there, isn't there?
They have the ability to be better. But anyway, mate, protein bars.
Oh,
I mean,
skinny. This one's called skinny. Are we allowed to say that word these days? I don't know if that's allowed.
Arsenic.
I've just said it twice. Skinny Food Co. I'm pretty sure Skinny Food Co. probably been attacked by people for their name, but whatever.
Yeah, I reckon so. I'm gonna have because are we doing one or two? I've still got loads of bars, mate. So.
Oh, I've got plenty down here, mate. Don't you wait. And also as well, I've done something that I never thought I'd ever do in my life. And I ordered 2 boxes of vegan protein bars for pleasure, not just to try, to actually eat them. There you go. Jesus. I never thought that day would happen. What else have I got in here? I've got Skinny Food Co. one. And I've got this is the carrot.
It's the carrot cake I didn't finish last week. I just realised, and the Quest bar.
Protein Millionaire. There we go. I've got it's like a flapjacky one.
Is that one?
I mean, it's 10 grams of protein. It's not a. Oh yeah,
yeah. All right, we'll both try that. I've got one there. Lovely. Yeah, it's not exactly protein shit, is it?
Mountain Joe's, 50-gram bar, 10 grams of protein. I mean, come on. It's effectively a chocolate bar at that 200 calories.
Yeah.
It's just.
All right. Well. Where are we going to go? Are you going to go? We'll do that one last. That one first. I just know I'm going to like this one. I'm going to go for the. We'll do that one first.
Do this one first.
So it's the Protein Millionaire, low sugar, Mountain Joe's, 10 grams of protein, pitiful effort, 204 calories.
Oh.
Is it not good? 10 grams of fat, 17 grams of carbs. Yeah. I mean,
I can't hear it.
Is it hard? Or not good?
I don't want to say anything. I want you to just try it. I know it's just my one.
I'm all right. Tastes like shit white chocolate.
You know, like Hershey's chocolate tastes like sick. It tastes like sick to me.
I don't understand the bottom of it.
Disclaimer, my packet was a little bit open. It may have spoiled, but they've not been in the bag. They've not been in there that long.
2 weeks.
Oh, I can't get rid of that taste out of my mouth. I can only describe it as like sick. It's like Hershey's chocolate.
I know what Hershey's chocolate tastes like, and it doesn't taste like that. That's like it's the Hershey's cookies and cream. It tastes a bit like that because it's the white chocolate one. But I
don't feel good now.
Oh, that's great. Dan's face is awful. But the bottom is like this crispy kind of crunchy bit that's a bit odd. Got to admit. Have some water, gee.
I just had some drink. It's not helped in any way. Best before 10th of April 2022, so it's in date. Oof, good lord. Right, well, I'm going to say that must have just been off. Like it was slightly open or something. I need to eat this quick now because I've got to get rid of this taste. So this is Skinny Food Co. This is cookies and cream Skinny Food Co. Now I don't like this. They've advertised it as 99 calories. Then there's a little star because they split it into 2 bits.
Of course they do.
So each bit is 12 grams of protein. No, sorry, it's not.
Whole thing's got to be 12 grams
per piece. Per 30-gram piece. See, I don't like this. They're shit. Per piece, 6 grams of protein, right? So they've gone with the 99 calories per piece, 12 grams of protein per pack. I don't like that.
Oh, that's bad, isn't it? Yeah. That's just like, we'll pick the best of what it says. And then okay.
I mean, that's miles better than that one, thank God.
Of course, it's just a normal bar. 6 grams of protein.
Yeah, I mean, again, for 200 calories and 12 grams of protein, I wouldn't bother. Just don't bother.
No. Well, you only bother if it is a Wanna bar. You ordered these?
I need to order some Wanna bars. I need to order some. I haven't. I got the Misfits. I got the vegan one straight from Misfits because I got hit with an advert on Facebook and it was like quite cheap.
Fair enough. So it's the Wanna bar. I've got the waffle and cream, cocoa with salty caramel flavor cream. So it's just chocolate, wafer, and Caramel
That
cream.
does sound pretty good. Is that another hit? Another hit. He's like the Wanna bars. All right, I need to have a look at these.
I think they're quite good. I think the other one was slightly better. I think, but I think that's because I don't know.
Wanna cream bars.
Yeah,
they do look very good, don't they? What ones have you had so far that you like?
Hazelnut,
wasn't it? The hazelnut
one. Yeah. That was just like having a bueno.
They do a bundle. They do a bundle. Do I get the bundle? Oh, you can pick the bundle anyway. I mean, they sound nice, don't they? White chocolate and strawberry cream. I wouldn't get the white chocolate and pistachio cream. Not a huge fan.
Yeah.
There's only 3 I'd get, actually. So maybe I won't get the bundle after all. Coconut, not for me, that one.
I can't stand coconut. But there you go. If you put it that way, I finished the bar live on the show. So,
well, that is always a good sign.
That is a good sign.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't finish that skinny co one. It's there's nothing wrong with the taste of it. It's just complete waste of eating something that's 200 calories with fuck all protein in. It's just annoying me. It's just annoying, isn't it?
Okay, so,
just annoying.
Yeah, that Wanna bars. Wanna bars are good.
Yeah. What we said? What was the macros again? Those calories. Talk me through them.
I can't remember. 200. It's a little bit. Meh, if I'm honest.
It's one of them, isn't it?
It's one of those middle grounds, like not quite as good. I just have to reach back into my bin. 233 calories for basically 12 grams of protein. So it's not fantastic.
You see, that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, like, of course,
I really want to try. I really want to try the Misfits peanut butter jelly, but they're all out of stock everywhere. Bastards.
So it should be okay then. As a little snackaroo, the Wanna bar is not bad, but it is slightly high calorie for how much protein. If they could sprinkle a bit of protein somewhere, which I think they probably could.
I think that must be with these bars, just how much 2-3 grams of protein makes a difference to the overall texture and stuff. It must be. Otherwise, surely they do it, but I mean, maybe they wouldn't. But it kind of makes you think, maybe, just maybe they should.
I mean, I better just have the rest of this Quest bar I've got lying here.
Oh God. Honestly,
I'll keep my teeth in.
I'd say that. I'd take a Quest bar over that fucking protein millionaire.
I mean, the protein millionaire thing wasn't great. The fact that it's less calories in that Wanna bar and it tastes like scum. It didn't taste like scum. It just tasted like Hershey's cookie and cream, but weirdly crispy.
Awful.
Yeah. Awful, mate. All right, not fantastic. All right, we'll talk about coaching and stuff. All right. I guess this goes into this is just about coaching science first. Something that I talk about in various seminars and stuff like that, whether it's queuing systems, what you say, when you say it, how you say it, why you say it, that kind of stuff, and how it kind of gets portrayed. And obviously it happens on social media. Dan, obviously, like you do those videos where you're awkwardly close to the camera and and you obviously come across in a certain way and doing bouncing around to grab attention and stuff and to invoke
How do I come across, Tom? How do I come across, Tom? What's
like if everybody could see a video, I'm kind of acting like a Muppet. Like the guys, not the guys of. I want you to do one in the style of the Tracys from Tracy Island and Thunderbirds, please, next time.
Tom's basically just called me a Muppet.
Only because I don't do enough of them, Dan. I don't do a lot of talking head videos. It's normally a summary of something else. So, I do need to do more of them, don't I? God, Jesus.
Well, you probably should, but who am I to
I probably should, but I mean, I've got to go to the work. I don't sit in my office, unfortunately, Daniel. Damn it. Need to change my career. Yeah, but the the coaching of way you say it and how you say it, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff to clients, it is really important. So the coaching science that I was talking about mainly, and obviously we'll go into it about stupid things pretty soon, is internal external cueing and normalized cueing. That's probably the thing that most people think about. It's like, well, hopefully they start to think about like what they're saying to try and get the best response and it resonates with the client. I would say that's baseline number one of what you're trying to do. And you have to make it as relatable in layman's terms as possible. Some experience in the last couple of weeks. I know one of my clients was he has had an unpleasant experience with physiotherapist because the physiotherapist couldn't relate the problem to him in a normal way, and he basically just said, "Classic, yeah, your glutes are weak." And I was like, "Brilliant." I was like, "They're not. You've been training with me for the last I was like, "You've been training with me for the last 9 months. Your glutes are fine." I was like, "I think what he means is your glutes don't abduct very well under response. They don't isometrically contract as best as what you want them to." I was like, "You can hit thrust over 100 kilos. You're fine. They flex and extend really well. Maybe they don't do this." And that's just bedside manner. Okay. So how you say something and making sure they respond. But another thing through coaching science is volume control. Believe it or not, if we want to say something really loud to get a response, that person's going to relay that and try and kind of, everybody's like turn down their volume now, and they're going to basically act with urgency. As immediately when you start speeding quickly and you're really like speeding quickly, talking really fast, and you're trying to pick up everything, and you're like, "Oh god, shit, I've got to do this really quickly." You start calming yourself down, speaking slowly, like your breathing patterns when you're stretching, all that kind of stuff. So speed and tone and volume of voice control is a big one. I know Nicole Rodriguez talks about this a lot because she's she's like nearly 5'1", little Mexican lady who used to be at Boyles, then went to Exos, and then is now at Borussia Dortmund as one of their lead S&Cs. But she's tiny. She's a room full of these big like lads, NFL athletes at Exos. And she was like, "I've got to command the room in certain spaces. And like sometimes if I want them to come in really tight, I'll speak really, really softly and really explain it very thoroughly and make sure they listen. And then if I'm like snapping, it's all the inflections and stuff." So that's how you see that. And then there was another thing about a sessional flow, which is something the lad did on the weekend. So we obviously corrected it. And it was just an interesting thing that I don't think I take into much account, but it's something I'm very aware of when I PT is the client's heart rate and kind of like energy going down kind of thing. So I timed basically the transitional period between exercises. And everybody's going, "Oh, wow, that's really pernickety, Tom. Why would you do that?" I was like, it just felt excessively long to me. And it was a good 4 or 5 minutes from finishing one exercise to the client performing another. And I was like, that's too long to coach. I was like, the client's like lost all impetus. They're kind of bored. They're like, "All right, I've probably taken on too many coaching cues now, and I haven't been drip fed the big ones that I need." So it's something to be aware of when you're with clients. They probably need bam, 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 bam. Not lots of stuff, but like this one, off we go. And then maybe you set up some stuff whilst they're completing their last set of the 3 times they've been around. Maybe the last set they'll be okay at, as long as they're not to failure. You can have a look at like, "Oh, what am I doing next? All right, we're there. We're going to take 30 seconds to transition and then get them moving again, so they don't have to like sit around and do nothing." Cool. And I think the coaching, like too many cues, that kind of thing, it kind of experienced it in a different kind of setting than the gym, right?
Yeah, I think I was just thinking then when you were talking about that, I think it's really useful for PTs to get a lesson in something that they are a complete novice in and just get a feel for what it's like to be thrown all this sort of stuff. See, I went for my golf lesson the other day. And the guy, it was a good lesson. This is in no way, in any way, shape, or form, like a negative thing. It's just my experience. And obviously, he's a pro, right? So he can do everything. And he was very casually explaining to me, like, this is how you're going to grip it. This is how you're going to stand. This is how far away from the ball you need to be. And then without giving me a chance to kind of practice that bit, he went, and then this is how you're going to then do the first part of your swing. You think about these things. And I was like, hang on a minute, I'm still thinking about my grip. What did you do again with the grip? And it was only something very, very small. He was like, well, all you need to do is just worry about this. Just don't think about anything else. Just do this. Like, okay, cool. I've got that. He didn't say that. He just showed me. And, you know, and like I was, you know, I'm fairly sort of in tune with my body and stuff. So I kind of picked it up quite quick. But it was just funny how even with that, so basically he sort of said to me, he said, when I was swinging back, he basically said, you need to just pin your arm on your chest as you do that, as you move back. He said, you pin your arm. And I was like, okay, cool. I get that. It makes sense to me. And then as I was going through it, I said to him, I said, oh, all I'm thinking of is like trying to, because as you go back, you have to be a bit more powerful. I was thinking of crushing my ribs with my arm. And he was like, oh, that's really good. I was like, that's a really good cue, whatever. I was like, it's a bit more like, say, externally focused, that sort of stuff. Because there's a power element to it. Rather than just pinning your arm in there, it's like, well, okay, I can do that and not move. But crushing is a bit more of an explosive anyway. But it was that whole thing of like, to me, like I hadn't learned anything new for ages, but it was just like I had 4 things to do straight off the bat. And I was sat there like, fucking, I was like, hang on a minute. I was like, yep, yeah, okay, I got 1, and then I got 2. And you could see that I was slowly piecing it together. And in 10 minutes time, it all became one movement. But I think it'd be really valuable for a lot of PTs to go and learn something completely brand new. That you're not kind of, you know, I suppose that doesn't come naturally to you. Like a sport would obviously come naturally. And just see what it feels like to be that out your comfort zone and that unconfident and all this. You'll see how many questions people probably have that maybe are too worried to ask, or I was okay. I stood up and went, hang on a minute, I need to go through that again, and all that sort of thing. So I just think it's important because I still hear a lot of PTs, and I know you're going to come on to this in a sec because I know you posted about it on Instagram. They use internal cues far too much, and they say things that to them make sense, but to anyone else would just be completely useless. Like your favorite one, Tom, I know it's one of your favorites, is brace your core. I mean, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing.
It's like it's basically they say it because they don't know what to say, and it's something to kill silence. That's all they say. They don't even. It's a cue that nobody thinks about. That's my issue with it. It's like it's a cue because you've heard other people say it, and then you say it for saying its sake. And like if you say something to somebody too many times, does it have the same impetus? Nope. Like go to bed, Dan. Dan's not gonna go to bed. I say it to him every night. Like I bet go to bed. I bet Isabel when you're like go to bed, go brush your teeth. Jesus, I've been around Isabel enough. Like she doesn't want to go brush her teeth, and when Dan tells her for the 7th millionth time, brace your core, doesn't mean anything to Isabel. Brush your teeth, goes over her head. She's like, fuck off. I'm not brushing my teeth. Yeah. Boring.
Yeah.
I mean, along with the fact that it doesn't mean anything, it's a terrible internal cue. Yeah, that's.
I used it a lot. It's kind of that whole thing of like you always think about external cues. Always. Like even with that one, you know, like with the weight belts and stuff, it's imagine there's a belt around you and trying to push your belly out into it. You know, things like that are a bit more okay. I can kind of feel that. I get what it feels like. Yeah. And you know, things like imagine someone's going to punch you in the stomach right now.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
You would brace your core. Like you would brace your core. That's what when people say brace your core, they kind of do that, and you kind of would be ready for it. And it's just that whole thing of like you said, is people don't. It doesn't mean anything to some people. So again, I saw in your post, squeeze your glutes. What? What do you mean? What do you mean? Squeeze your glutes? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? You know, and it's that whole thing of look, we've all said it, and we all say it to some clients.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I've said it.
Like we again, when a client knows what that feels like, you can say squeeze your glutes tight because they'll know because you've taught them how to do that. Once you've progressed along the skill continuum, you can then use internal cues. People will know that. That's fine. I'm not slagging them off. It's about knowing when to use them. And like Tom said, the coaching science involved is use external cues when you're first learning something because you don't know the internal feeling of what that is like. And yeah, it's just really important to and I think if PTs were the opposite way around and were put in that position, they would realize that they just speak jargon a lot of the time to people, and they're like, "What? Sorry, what? Some people don't even know what half the equipment's called in the gym.
Yeah, they
pick up that
they're
barbell.
like,
They go, "What's a barbell?"
which one's that one?
Like,
Yeah, how many
they
times, like somebody who's trained with me fairly frequently, who I'll be like, "Could you go get a kettlebell?" Brings a dumbbell back. I'm like, that's not the one I asked for, is it? Okay, cool. Can you do can you do a squat for me? Lies on the floor. What, you did? Not were you tired? No.
Yeah.
I'm hip thrusting. Cool. Well, I said squat, so interesting. Yeah, strange, really strange. And then they're like, "Yeah, brace your core. Let's do that internally. Can you just internally rotate? Like, can you just flex there? What? Like, just do a little gun show pose, little Arnie pose? Yeah, that's what I meant. Good idea. Very, very strange internal, external cueing. But yeah, I feel like more people need to think about. Obviously, they need to get that right first. Like, pick some cues that are cool. They work. They work with like 80% of the clients or people you see. And they're probably good. So if you understand them, then crack on. But yeah, I think the annoying thing is when you go to a workshop, and when I teach, and I literally say this every single time to these people who come to my workshops, and I'm like, right, this is like, it's wonderful that you're here. The unfortunate circumstances, we don't have a good population to try this shit that we're kind of learning today on. And the chances are we're all a trained population, some more than others. And we're going to be able to move and do stuff that we ask. The fact is that the people we see don't. So don't think this is how we learn here. It's like, this is kind of, this is we're going to say it. It's giving context to the content that we give you. And this is informing your practice of what we are trying to do. And that's something, it was a buzzword we came up with the other day about PT Core. And we were like, right, what is it actually doing? And the lad who's done he's been in Premier Global for ages. And he was like, yeah, Tom. I was like, you give context to content. That is what your course is about. And I was like, that's great. And I was like, that's cool. That actually resonates with me. Like, we're using that. I was like, you every single time you coach and you step in front of a video, you are always trying to give context to the client that they possibly will have in front of them with the content. You're not just saying, this is what happens. Like, and you're like, all right, if you have one of these people, or maybe this happens, or maybe this happens, and maybe this happens. So bear in mind that happens. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, mate, stupid shit. I think you got a few back, didn't you, in terms of what they say?
My
what they say, what they say, what they do. I mean, from my post, obviously, I wrote about the squeeze your glutes, brace your claw, counting reps fucks me off. Right, I don't.
That's one of the what I hate. Oh my god, count in your fucking head. Count in your head. They don't need to know. They
count in your fingers. Like, the chances are you're not going above 10. Like, just randomly do that. Don't just count it out for needs of sake. And then it's always the 3, 2, 1, and I'm like, oh my god, shut up. 2 and 1 and 1. That one. I don't get it. They can count. The client can count. They manage to pay for you. They can count. They know what 50 quid is. So that's absolutely fine. And then
I've got some here for you, Tom. Some good ones.
Sorry.
The more you eat, the more energy your body burns, the leaner you will get. Yes, that's definitely working for lots of people. Unbelievable. Here's one for you. You might not actually know the answer to this. I mean, I obviously know the answer to this, but you will be able to clarify. Someone's put, a PT once said that I'm flat-footed, so should squat with plates under my heels. Because that's going to help, isn't it? That's
not really what.
Two completely unrelated things.
Yeah, basically they've gone. Your ankles are quite tight, and you have big absorbers into pronation. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's those are not unrelated, but I would say they're not synonymous with each other at all.
It's not like a definite thing. Oh, that must mean we put. We'll do that straight away. Yeah. And also as well, I hate that when you see people with plates under their heel. No, if you're going to put something under someone's heels, use something that's strong.
Yeah, like most gyms now, like the gym I was at, like I'm absolutely fine with it. I'm like, it's the band-aid for getting people deeper. It's not to get, you are not trying to train their range of motion when you put shit underneath their heels. You're just trying to blow out their quads and blow out their glutes to get a bigger range of motion in those core muscle groups. That's all you're doing. You're never going to increase mobility ever. Cool.
Yeah. And like we've talked about this before, is it's a way to get people moving through that range, or like you just said, like all that sort of stuff, with the goal should always be to try and take that away. That's the goal of doing it, is that you at some point want to be able to take it away. Like I still do heel elevated squats for certain like movements in my plan, because that's the goal of the movement. But I wouldn't want any of my clients to forever be back squatting with elevated heels. Like that's not the goal, right?
No, I mean,
mostly be like doing heavy with like barbell fucking.
Yeah, the only heel elevates I would do are goblet squats, if I'm really honest.
Yeah.
I would just because I want an anterior load to blow out your quads and blow out their hinge more than anything else, because I want to increase knee flexion. That's what's happening.
Yeah, you're not doing that with a barbell. You're not doing that.
No,
like, in my opinion, like that's not how. And the other thing that annoys me as well is when people do the other way around with their toes raised. Yeah, you're just stretching
do they do that?
nerve. They do RDLs. People do RDLs.
Oh, the RDLs one. Yeah,
toes. I'm like, no,
they got so much range for their hinge, and I'm like, by the way, if you're a bloke and you're doing that, moronic. Like you don't have that much hinge range. It's like your hips are not as wide as females. I was like, you can look.
But not even that. It's like even in females, like all you're doing is stretching your sciatic nerve. You're not actually creating any more range of motion at the hinge. Do a deficit deadlift. Do deficit then that's better. That's fine. Not a wedge under your fucking toes. Like, oh my god. Anyway, I mean, we've got some classics here. Fasted cardio is any way to drop body fat. Standard. Things PTs say. I don't sleep with my clients. That's quite a funny one. What else was there here? Oh, PCOS isn't real. It's more of a mindset.
Oh, that's an interesting one,
apparently.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's definitely not true. Cardio is pointless unless your heart rate is above 180. I mean, 179 doesn't count. Doesn't count. Don't buy meat from butchers. Supermarket meat is easier to count calories.
I mean, true. Like because it's a package.
Yeah, but you can just buy meat from the butchers and use the supermarket label. Like, and then there's one here from someone you know very, very well, Tom, saying one more rep. And another one's put just one more rep. Like, that's the hallmark of a good trainer right there. All right, just one more rep.
The good trainers say two. There's always two more reps. Yeah, that's the like.
Chloe said that.
I haven't counted. Well, on my one as well, Chloe decided to say, I need someone to count and look at my form. I was like, yeah, good. Yeah, she does. No.
Yeah.
No idea. By the way, she's the one that I would ask to go get a kettlebell and come back with a dumbbell. Girl that's been training most of her life. Yeah. Probably, I'm pretty sure she probably just does it to piss me off. But yeah. This lad goes, I used to work with a lad who said, switch on your transverse to every client. Transverse activated. I don't even know what that means.
Switch it on.
Switch on the transverse for me. Okay, it's on. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Paul, who puts person on the piece of equipment, then looks everywhere else apart from at the person. Standard. That's pretty standard, isn't it? Yeah.
It's just that whole thing for me. Like, I just think personal trainers always moan. I've got like I said, a post coming out about this tomorrow. I think I'm going to post it tomorrow morning. Personal trainers always moan that their clients are lazy or their clients aren't motivated and all this sort of stuff. And then you look around and you're like, yeah, it's almost like they're just taking your characteristics, isn't it? And then displaying them to you. Because PTs are lazy. Like they don't care enough about their clients. They don't actually give a shit. They don't plan. They don't prepare. They don't have any sort of concept of a progressive plan for most clients. And most people listening to this are probably not in this category, obviously. But there's a good 95% of PTs out there that will make up stuff on the spot for their client. And look, if you know your client well enough and you know what their plan looks like, and you've programmed the first 3 exercises, first 3 supersets, and then the conditioning is a bit more of a, I know I want to get the heart rate up for a decent level of, I'm not fussed about like saying you have to plan out every single bit of your plan and execute it to the T, because I also think a good trainer is also able to change things on the fly based on what's available, space, and all that sort of stuff, right? So as long as there's a rationale and a plan, what I mean is there's people that walk into the gym and go, right, I'm training with so-and-so today. And I've seen people do the same session with 3 clients in a row before. That's not personal training. That's not personal training. And these are the people that go, oh, my clients just aren't seeing the results, you know, they're just not really dedicated enough. And I'm like, no, you're not dedicated to them enough. That's the problem. You know, and it's that whole thing of it just frustrates me seeing it. It really does frustrate me, because people deserve better, and the fitness industry will not improve until the standards improve. And that's obviously, you know, the work you're doing with Luke and stuff, you know, doing all that. Good luck.
Hopefully.
But yeah.
I know, and I think people, we got this a little bit. Is people bash the level 2 and the level 3. Level 2 and level 3 is the entry requirement. That is your ticket to the fairground. Don't bash that. That is just a prerequisite, a standard. It's up to you after that to go and decide which rides you want to take, like, and pay for those and what you like doing, that kind of shit. It's just, that is your ticket to the party. Just doesn't mean like it's the whole driving test thing. Like that's your ticket to start driving. Does not mean you can drive a HGV. Does not mean you can drive a lorry. Does not mean you can drive a Formula 1 car, a rally car, or anything like that. Go-kart. Like, you have to do separate tests for those. And that's what happens with PT as well. Then you go and like go down those routes and become experts. So, but if you only do your level 3, you will suck.
Yeah.
Unfortunately so. I was like, even Daniel over there, like, loved a bit of education as he was going through, and we went to quite a few seminars and shit together, like all about it for the good first, I'd go like 5-6 years of his career, like at least 3 to 4 workshops, seminars, conferences a year. So yeah, they quickly back up, and then you end up seeing the same fuckers all the time anyway. So yeah. but you became pretty decent at nutrition, and that's how it happened. And you were like, oh, I want a ticket to the nutrition party, that nutrition tent, I'm in there. I'm not allowed in, didn't buy the ticket. So, but guess what, the biomechanics and shit and the plyometrics, I got the VIP lounge, that one, so we're all right. Yes, it's just interesting that people bash the entry level qualification. You're like, no, we need one, otherwise it's even worse. It's like, it's mental. Because I without a doubt, if people were to not do the qualification, unfortunately so, and they went straight onto my PT core, chances are they won't know much about personal training, and they won't know what I'm talking about if that bit's needed. So unfortunately. Anyway, ran over, mate. Oh no, have we? Did we talk about catching up with Seedman?
Not yet. We're finished.
Oh, do we not? Fucking hell, we'll finish on that. Catching up with, because it's just the time is ticking over towards.
Oh, is it?
Minutes,
we'll go quickly.
Yeah.
We'll go quickly because I
was like,
I can't remember where it popped up. It popped up. I tell you what, I was just on YouTube. I was watching.
Yeah.
What was I watching? I was watching. I can't remember how I came about it now.
Dan was watching one of his GTA Live or watching people playing games and stuff like that. I do that.
I'm probably watching golf, to be honest. Let me see what I was doing, because I'm
watching Ricky Shields.
Find out now. No, wasn't watching Ricky Shields. But I know who that is, so that tells you everything you need to know.
He's great. Love Ricky Shields.
Oh no, it just came up 8 o'clock in the morning. I saw it. It came up.
I don't know where
I saw it. How did I get that link? Because
I'd already saved it for later as well. I think I saw it on Mike Israel's one. Because I follow Mike.
I think that's what it was. I think I must have seen it on Instagram, copied over to my computer. But when I saw it was 20 minutes, and I saw it was Joel Seedman versus Mike Israel, I thought, oh, this could be fun. So I had a cup of coffee and watched it, and it was interesting because Joel Seedman obviously is clueless for a lot of the stuff he talks about. And he came across as clueless in the debate. and Michael Hotel was kind of like very sarcastic with some of his responses, and Joel just didn't get it at all. But he didn't really have an answer for anything other than, well, I do it with my clients and it works. And I was like, that's not really a debate though, Joel.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's not really like the point of this. It's kind of like Mike Israel's there going, yeah, but I do this with my clients and also the scientific literature and it works. So like kind of those two things put together are better than just you saying, well, I do this. And he used a couple of examples of like extreme athletes that had had really bad injuries. And I was like, well, okay, that's fine for him. You might only do 90-degree angles because it hurts if he goes any further than that. But that's n equals 1. That's one person.
Yeah.
And like he got that injury. He was explaining that he got the injury because he went down on his shoulder and hit the ground, not from overuse. You know how he always says like, oh yeah, all my people come in and they get injured because they're doing full range of motion. It's like, no, he didn't injure his shoulder because he was doing full range of motion, then fell on it. He did it because he fell on it. Like that's why. And he just didn't really have much of an answer. It was very wishy-washy.
It was wishy-washy, yeah. So he was talking about that and range of motion. Then he was like, oh, we were increasing it through dumbbell pullovers, right? Those things, which they have a tendency to crank people's shoulders anyway. So I was quite surprised that was a thing that he was doing with them. I was like, they're not one of my most favorite exercises. I hardly, if ever, would program them just because they tend to piss off your AC joint and like your delt, basically. Yeah, it was a strange one. They're done badly across the board. But then, yeah, he obviously started talking about Israel's a very big hypertrophy guy, but then he kind of tried to go at Israel saying he doesn't like train any like athlete-based people. So he's like, you're in the hypertrophy world, bodybuilding world. Obviously, Israel does like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, right? So he can move.
Yeah.
And he's a unit.
Yeah.
And he's always about full range. So therefore, and obviously me and Dan have talked about this, full range strength training generally is, and Israel said this, he was like, mobility is strength and flexibility mashed together. I am mobile because I have control in the ranges of motion where they are. Obviously, Seedman's thing is going to 90 degrees where he's taxing out that certain range of motion and not going beyond it. There is a protocol if you kind of isometrically hold within a range of motion, you should have strength, which kind of will go over about 10 degrees more, give or take, but not a lot more, something like that. It will transfer into that musculature because, the musculature is getting ripped apart. But if you're only going to 90 degrees, it's insane. Personally, I don't think that's the case. And then the two mediators were just like, ooh, good point. Ooh, what a fucking good point. Shut up. And then he went on about, he was like, people are getting injured more than ever in terms of overuse of, the whole world of health and fitness has actually only been around for like the last 30 years. Yet people have been doing these hypermobile ranges and all this kind of stuff. And like for the last couple of like millennia. I was just, and he was like, yeah, we haven't found the correct way. We didn't need to train them to full range because we've been doing it for 2 millennia anyway. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, but we're doing it better now. That's the whole point. The science has gotten better. They are doing it at a higher level, more degree.
People are getting injured because they're pushing themselves to the
limit. They're pushing themselves to an absolute limit. We were never anywhere near the limit previously. And we know that. Like, world strongest men are getting stronger every fucking year. People are breaking records every fucking year. But guess what? They're so much closer to the line. And I was just like, basically, you just don't want to go anywhere near the line. None of your athletes will excel. They will never win. Like he's using Taylor Heineke as the quarterback from Washington. He was a third stringer. He's not the best quarterback in the world, and he probably never will be. He's starting for Washington at the moment because they've had a couple of injuries, but. I would like to see him take an athlete that's like no, I still maintain what I said previously. I want him to take a kid that's high school and then train him like that, who's got the potential to be really awesome. And then
what you need is 2 twins, don't you? You need 2 identical twins. One and get them at like 8, and then one trained by like Michael Hotel, one trained by him, all the way through to like adulthood, and then do the tests.
And then be like, all right, well, we're gonna try and do it. Yeah, it's just because I still maintain that like
you're pretty harsh on the one that went to work with Joel Seedman, to be honest.
He's weird as well. I don't get it. Yeah, he just didn't seem to have enough to back up the science as well that he thinks he's got as well. it seemed. Oh, and then again, like he was like, actually 80% of my stuff is like normal lifting, or like not full range, but 90-degree stuff. And it's like, yeah, and I only post the unstable stuff to get followers. And we're like, brilliant. And Israel was like, well, I've got a tiny following, but I post all the shit I want to.
Yeah.
And like, just lost the credibility. Like he was like, 1%, I might have that person do an unstable platform exercise once, and that's it. And I was like, why are you fucking posting about it? Saying it's so important, man. Don't understand.
He doesn't as well, because I've seen some of his stuff, and he posts the whole session, and it's all that shit. He just said that because it's an easy thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah. So go have a little watch. It's not too like back and forth. Just yeah. Obviously, Israel is a good researcher and a good bodybuilder. I wouldn't say he's he knows he's not a shining light in S&C and plyo and some of the stuff that sort of Seedman thinks he will be good at. I would like to see Seedman and the rugby strength coach go at it. That would be an interesting one. They're both fully on the spectrum, but yeah, just don't. I don't know. The 90-degree angle running is still the best thing he's done all year, like throughout us following him. I think that one's, but then that safety bar lat raise. To be fair, like in a safety bar lat raise in like a split squat position, and then like when I reposted it, like I think Carl Everest sent it to me, and he was just like, he was like, "Lol, maybe he had somewhere to be, and he had to fit all his session into one set." So I was like, "Fair enough." Looks like it. Oh, so funny. And then everybody loved that the trap. I literally got like about 10, 12 messages just on the trap bar and the safety bar. And I was like, because it's really annoying, because I'm a massive advocate for both those bars and I love them.
Yeah.
They're my go-to. But I'm like, I never use them together. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh dear. Yeah, please don't trap bar and safety bar at the same time.
My mind would think to do that.
Oh dear. And then he did like some 5-plate like half squats today, and I was just like, he's like, yeah, this is really taxing. I was like, no, it weren't. Like, what?
Yeah, really not.
Oh. And I really want to. Is he because he's obsessed with his like flat toe shoes. He's not got toe shoes. He's got the non-toe shoes, but he would be a guy that wears toe shoes. 1,000%. He definitely owned a pair.
Oh yeah, but he's got all his codes, hasn't he? You know, he's got.
He loves a code, doesn't he? He loves a code.
I swear he's pointing his feet in as well. Like
he does. No. Yeah, 100%. That's the thing. He does that though. I understand the premise of you put yourself in internal rotation to externally rotate at the foot to get more drive, and so you externally rotate your hip, so you slightly internally rotate.
That squat is a quarter squat, isn't it?
Oh, it's gnarly, isn't it? But if he came out and said, "I'm doing this quarter squat to improve my jump height," fine, that's perfectly valid.
I just love, I love as well in the comments, like barefoot shoes from Zero Shoes. Well, not barefoot shoes, are they? I hate that. Barefoot, but they're shoes. So
the Vivos.
I mean, that angle. There's no way. That's not even 90 degrees. Like, he is just a fucking idiot, in my opinion. Right.
He's madness. He is madness. All right.
At this point, I'm convinced. There's a comment here. At this point, I'm convinced you just post this stuff to get some traction. This is ridiculous. Correct. Correct.
Which he openly admitted on that show. So absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll continue to follow him because it's just a giggle, isn't it? I just need to. I need to look at what's happening in the world. All right. Any other business, Daniel?
No.
No, not from me. All good. All good. Lovely. All right, thanks for listening, guys. And we will catch you next week.
Catch you later.